बघा तिकडे बघा ठीक ना start it now. Managing interpersonal and group process. Final, good afternoon. Final introductions by syllabus. Groups formations, development, and their impact on organizational processes. And unit 2, group dynamics. Unit 3, interpersonal processes. And group unit 4, organization. Organizational power and influences in organization, and unit 5, organizational culture in its change, and managing interpersonal and group process for organizational changes and developments. Unit 6, group unit 7, group decision making. Unit 8, inter group conflicts and their resolution. And unit 9, managing group processes in a organization with a diversities and working international environment. Introductions. Organization essentially consists of people and working in groups to achieve desired objectives, and therefore group and processes uh, are one of the most important components for the successes of the organization, and the effectiveness of group processes and interpersonal relationship has a high impact on a outcomes and performances. Managing group processes and interpersonal relationship is gaining tremendous attention from the management of a organization, and this has also been further made complex and due to globalization and a multicultural employees working in organization, and the diversity is a strength, but it brings its new challenges in managing group processes. This book is an attempt to cover various emerging practices regarding management of group processes and interpersonal dimension of the organization. Mm, It has been tried that complicated topics are described with ample illustrations and with the supporting studies and research and practices. I have been a practitioner of HRM in a various roles as a professor in the discipline of HRM and OB, a practitioner of HRM as well as consultant in the HR domain, and the practices in a organization and a philosophy of HRM significantly vary from organization to organization, and the innovative practices adopted by the organization in managing multi-cultural workforces has gained momentum in a recent past, and the MNC in India bring in various new practices and which are influencing Indian companies as well. This makes the function of managing HR and more diverse and new practices are emerging every day. India is witnessing such enormous changes in the domain of management of human resources and management in all of its subsets. Every organization is eager and to look for more progressive and innovative and inclusive HR management practices. I am sure and that your study of managing interpersonal and group processes will be exciting and may lead to a fulfilling career in the field of managing people and groups. Groups formation, development, and their impact on organizational process. Structure 1.0 introductions, 1.1 unit objectives, 1.2 group and their formation in organization and types, 1.3 types of groups and their characteristics, 1.4 group structures, norms and a control system, intra-group processes, and 1.6 impact of a group working on organizational outcomes, 1.7 summary and key terms, and 1.9 question and exercise, 1.10 further reading and references. Introductions. Organizations are formed when two or more people and work together towards some common objectives. Therefore, you will find that working together for common goal is absolutely essential. When we work in any organization or a company and working in groups makes it easier to achieve our objectives, but simultaneously it also leads to various complications when we work in a group. The successes or a failure of any organization is largely and dependent upon the efficiency of working of people in the organization in groups, and thus group processes, their evolutions and related theory and practices are of great importance for the organization. In the area of liberalization and globalizations, and with the advancement in information technology, IT words has become a village and working with people from various regions, nations, and minders is a comparative management and employees need to understand and have skills to work in a group and improve synergy in group, and this would be possible if we develop skill and to manage group and processes within the group formation, development of groups and their impact on the organizational process in the fundamental in understanding the basic of group processes. Group formations, development, and their impact of organizational processes. 1.1 unit objectives. The main objectives of this unit is to help you to understand the need and importance group processes and their impact on a performance of firms, firm, and how these groups are evaluated in any organization. After reading this unit, you should be able to and describe concepts and definitions related to formation of groups, understand how these groups are developed to, and how group within an organization can be managed. Describe the impact and their implications in a various processes within the organization and their linkages with the performance of organization. Organization 1.2 group and their information in organization. We define a group has two or more individuals and interacting and interdependent who have come together to achieve a particular common objectives. A group can range in size from two members and to thousands of members, very small collectives such as days, dead, and two members and tribes. Three members are group, but so are very large collections of people, such as mobs, crowds, and congreg- congregations. Simul 1902. In an organization setting, groups in an organizational setting, groups are a common organization component, and the study of groups and group dynamic is an important area of study in organizational behavior. And group dynamics refer to the attitude, lineal, and behavioral characteristics of a group, and group dynamics concerns how groups form their structures and other structure and processes and how they functions. There are several theories as to um, in an organizational settings, groups are common organizational component, and study of groups and group dynamics is an important area of study in organization behavior. And group dynamics refers and to the attitudinal and behavioral characteristics of a group. And group dynamic concerns how groups from their structure and process and how they function. There are several theories as to why groups develop, and the most common framework for examining the how of group formations was developed by uh, Bruce Tuchman 1965. In essence, the steps in a group formations imply that groups do not usually perform and at maximum effectiveness, and when they are first established, they encounter several stages of development, and during the courses of development, and then become productive and effective. Most groups experience under some developmental stages with a similar conflicts and resolutions. According to Tuchman, the theory, and there are five stages of group development: forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjusting. During these stages, and group members must address several issues, and the way in which these issues are resolved determines whether the group will succeed in accomplishing its task. Intra-group processes, there is always continuous interplay and between the uh, members of group, and these interactions within the groups is called intra-group interaction, and the intra-group processes and emerge out of the intra group interaction, and some of the intra-group processes are formal while and other are informal. However, both formal as well as informal processes have huge impact on the performance of the group. Intergroup dynamics, also referred to as in a group, within a group, or commonly just group dynamics, are the underlying processes and that give rise to a set of norms, roles, relations, and common goals, and that characterize rise a particular social group. Examples of groups include religious, political, military, and environmental groups, and sports terms, work groups, and therapy groups. Amongst the members of group, and there is state in a interpret interdependence. Interdependence, and through which the values and behavior, attitudes, opinions, and experiences of each member are collectively influenced by the other group members. In many fields of research, there is an interest in understand group dynamics and influences individual behavior, attitudes, and options. The dynamics of a particular group and dependent on how one define the uh, boundaries of a behavior and appropriate behavior. Intergroup processes include decision making, allocation of coordinations, and of work, etc., in the organizational contacts. The regular intra-group processes lead to higher understanding amongst the group members and better cohesiveness amongst the members organizations, thus encourage intra-group interactions both in formal ways and through regular meetings, doodle uh, engagements, picnics, parties, etc. Intra-group processes also include conflicts groups and learn how to resolve uh, conflicts as they move from a stormy phase and to norming phase, and group evolve norms for conflict resolution. These processes create right bond amongst the group and gradually create right vision and for the term and direction to achieve started and goals and objectives. Impact of a group working or organizational outcomes. Group working has a direct relationship with the performances in organizations. There is always interdependence in organization on each other. The various departments depend upon the performances of other departments. For example, marketing department has to depend on a production and a quality control for the satisfaction of customers. Similarly, purchases department and can ensure smooth on time purchase, and when finance department arranges funds and ensures payments on time to the suppliers. The whole ecosystems within the organization and even with external stakeholders and depend upon each other in each and other in a very complex manner. The interdependence thus become key. Similarly, within the group and interdependence on each others is critical for performances and towards the desired result. And in case of conflicts within the team with no means and to resolve conflicts may lead to a lack of performances of the team, and this may not only impact outcomes of the team but also the entire performances of the organization, and therefore effective group working is critical to the successes of organization, and groups may enhance outcome or retard outcomes depending on various factors and linked with the group working, and some of these important factors are given below. Shared goals. First one, the understanding of a common shared goal is very important for the purpose of effective team working. And when groups align and understand goals and share is a strongly, and they are able to align their efforts in some directions. Shared cultural, when groups have strong common cultural and they agree and share the values, attitude, belief, assumption, and norms, they are able to work in a appropriate manner without wasting time on a conflict on many issues and better understanding of each other. Cohesiveness, the group which are able to become cohesiveness term are able to perform better, and this is also true for cricket and team on a hockey team. And higher observe cohesiveness is built consciously over time and through a lot of formal and informal engagement exercise. Companies develop devote a lot of efforts and money and to build right kind on terms. Fourth one, right competence within the team. Even if the group has all the above, but do not have right skills or competence, and they may not be able to deliver right performances, and thus right terms of groups must possess the required competency. A complete term team has right attributes, both the behavioral as well as the functional. In absence of this group may frustrate and split. Organization focus on building above essential components in on the group because this impact the organizational outcomes. Second thing is the summary 1.7, and in this unit it has been explained and that groups are so critical for performances in any organization because organization consists of groups. Groups are evolved through 5 stages: I have a forming, storming, and norming, and performing, and adjourning. And there are broadly two types of groups, and formal and informal groups. The formal groups are developed around the structures of organization with a formal definition and boundaries, while informal groups have a unwritten norms. Groups are controlled through various written and unwritten norms and a machine mechanism. Groups target tasks, culture, values, exercise control on group working. Organization devote and lot of focus on building groups and terms through formal as well as informal interaction, and these interactions align thinking of groups and build right glue and bond. Engagement exercise of companies informal settings help in developing terms and their behavioral competencies. Performance of groups has high impact on the outcome of organizations, and the ever increasing focus on group working in organization is also due to the fact and that terms uh, are becoming diverse. Uh, People bring different outlook, hence need to gain well When work in groups in organizations to reduce conflicts and put their energies towards achieving laid down objectives of the organization. Key terms. First one, group. A group has two more individuals, interest, interacting and interdependent, who have come together to achieve the particular common objective. Second thing is a formal group. The organization structures define formal groups with a designated work assignments, establishing tasks. A third one, informal group. Group is neither formally structured nor organizationally determined or defined. Informal groups are natural uh, 1.8 key terms. And group one, group has two or more individuals interacting and interpreting interdependent who have come together and to achieve particular common objectives. Second thing is formal group. The organization structure defines the formal group with a designated work assignment, establishing tasks. Informal group is neither formally structured nor organizationally informal group. Group is a neither formally informal group. Group is a neither formally structures for organizationally determined or defined. Informal group are structures formation in the work environment and appears in a response unto the need for a social contact. Group link, groupthink, groupthink occurs when members of the group text pressure on each other and to come to in consensus in a decision making, and when groups beliefs other overshadow an individual thinking uh, extensively and do not allow other beliefs to prevail. Group dynamics. First one, introductions. Second one, unique unit objectives. And 2.2, group and their information in organization. 2.3, types of groups and their characteristics. 2.4, group structures and norms and a control system. 2.5, intra-group processes. And 2.6, impact of group working on organizational outcomes. A summary and key terms and question and exercise and further reading and resources. References. Introduction. from the smallest enterprises and to the largest corporation organization are created and designated by people and to fulfill organizational objectives, and we may view organizations political systems in which different people and groups with different interests are working together. When people work together in groups, there are interactions among the members which influence on the attitudes and behavior of the group members. Studies of behavior of individuals and groups are very useful in understanding decision making and behavior of groups, and are also useful in studies of psychology, sociology, political science, and other fields. It is certain that different people and working together would show different traits, which can either be beneficial or no beneficial for the team. Next thing is hence apart from understanding the basic nature of group setting, it is also important and to learn about the various strategies and factors influencing the effective management of terms in organization. The interaction and various process within the group developers dynamics of how people and groups respond to the given situation, and the study of responses within a group and by the group constitute group dynamics. Unique objectives 2.3. The main objectives of this unit is to help you to the main objectives of this unit. um, the main objectives of this unit is to help you to understand the concept of group dynamics, its impact on performances of firms. Notes of studying this unit, you will be able to understand the concept of political organizations and influencing factors in groups and group cohesion, understanding the concept of group dynamics and group think and various factors affecting group dynamics, and learn about the team building and various factors affecting team output and a group. Today is enough. Stop the lecture.